And I know the biggest life lesson I ever learned at camp was a girl named Emily. And she asked me if I wanted to start a Starburst, and we became best friends. We had the same pajamas. There we go. It was just like an interconnection. And her big thing was just living life. And she wouldn't wear hats. I'm talking about like bald. And I was just like, why don't you wear hats? You know, people will stare at you. It's like, well, they're going to stare anyway. And I'm like, true, but I don't think I could do that. And we was at field day, and she put shaving cream in circles on her hair, and she got sunburned. But there were white circles all over her head. And I was like, why'd you do that? And she's like, my new name is Spike. And I'm like, okay. But that's how she lived life. And then I remember her mama called me. She's in the hospital, and there's a cancer spread, and she couldn't walk. As in, she was unable to move anything below her waist. And I came there, and mom's like, don't mention nothing about walking. And I'm like, okay, no walking. And you would know the first thing out of my mouth was like, hey, are you ready to run the race? And I'm like, I can't. Oops. Because camp was really coming up, and we had this big, awesome obstacle race, and we won the last time. The only little kid and, the big poofy head kid, we won. And I just thought we were going to do it again. My brain process didn't work then. But she told me, it's okay, I know I'm not going to walk. She's like, but I'm going to die. And I was like, oh, let's not be negative, She's like, no, I'm going to die, but it's okay, because when you die and you go meet Jesus, I'll be there. I just think, oh my goodness, I can't take this. And then I think it was 2 weeks later, after firing 3 hospice nurses, she ended up dying. And I went to her funeral, and her mom hugged me. She said, when you meet Jesus, she'll be there. But she really taught me how to live life. Like, at the time, I just was not social. I didn't want to talk. No way on earth was I walking without a hat, nor putting shaving cream on it. That was just way beyond my comprehension. But she made me. She's like, come, let's talk to this dude. I didn't even know that guy. And I was like, yeah, come on. And then she talks to him, and her first words out of her mouth was, I haven't taken a bath in 3 days. Because all we had were showers, and she had an outside port, and you can't get the outside port wet. So technically, she was unable to take a bath or a shower. But to proclaim it in the cafeteria was something beyond what I thought. But they laughed, and then I got to where like, oh, well, talking up to random people wistful. And she would get the little kids, and she was like Mother Goose, one bald egg after another bald egg, and they was just all over her. And I'd be like, we just, we don't know those kids, but they would all gather in a circle, and she would tell them about the girl from Nantucket, if you ever heard that little memory rhyme or whatever, and all these other stories, and she would draw circles with her foot and set each kid in a circle around her, and she would guess a color, and if they guessed the color, it was like colored eggs if you ever played it. If they guessed the color, she's like, I gotta chase you, and you can't really run. So she's like, this kind of motion, going forever slow, because a kid can't run, and she's still baldy, she can't really run either. And I'm like, why do you do that? But she brought me out of my shell. And so I give a lot of credit to hers, because a lot of times when you go through something bad, especially afterwards, you just don't want to do it again. Like, I met kids at camp who said if they had cancer again, they would not take chemo. And I can understand their standpoint, because that is one of the worst things you have ever done in your life. But in order to give up, I just can't see it that way. And she just never would. But she knew she was going to die. We wanted to ignore that part and not talk to her like that. But she knew she would. So in the short time period she was here, all her little 13 years, everybody she would come in contact with, she would teach them one lesson, whether she knew them or not. There's one lesson she met people. And one of her lessons, this one woman at Walmart, she didn't know her. She paid for like a bunch of candy in pennies, nickels, and dimes. Okay, hold up forever long line to pay the nickels, pennies, and dimes. And the lady was like, come on, come on, come on. And she told him, she's like, life, this is how you live life. You rush it. She said, just slow down. Enjoy what God gives you. Just live it, but not rush it. So I know that through everything I give God my credit, and because I would be nothing without Him, and I am nothing without but he's brought me through so much, and I give him all the credit. And I know that when I do die, I will find her with Jesus, because he was just like that little lamb that never grew back fur. But it's okay, she accepted it. But so my one lesson I want to tell all y'all is that God is good, and God gives you trials to make you stronger. And everything is not everything you go through in life, there is a purpose for it. He just doesn't you don't just go through things. And all the people you meet, there is a purpose. So my life lesson to y'all would be just to live life, but to give God all the honor and glory for it.